the diamond area here and the different types of options people have now in affordability.
Sure.
So in today's world, you have what I call the natural diamond
Yes.
from the mines, and then you have lab diamonds,
Yes.
which are made in a controlled environment. Can you tell the viewers a little bit about the similarities, yet the differences?
So when you're looking at a natural diamond versus the lab created diamond, you really can't see a difference. I mean, I can't tell unless we send it for testing or we have a tester that'll let us know that it's lab created.
Mm-hmm.
So it really does serve a purpose depending upon your budget and what you want to spend. We do sell a lot of natural diamonds as well, and for that special bride that you're willing to give that to, it's just a matter of your choice.
Right, and I think, when you talk about, people in today's society may be on the budget,
Yes.
and they still want that ring that shows
Yes.
and it pops.
Yes.
So let's say somebody wants to get like a 3-carat natural diamond. About how much would that run in a round?
You could spend $30,000, $40,000.
Wow, okay, so if they opted to go with one from the lab, a 3-carat from the lab, what would that?
You $5,000-$6,000.
Wow, what a
Trem-
significant
tremendous
difference.
difference,
And
yeah.
yet I know to a lot of people, to the naked eye, they cannot tell
tell.
the difference. It still has that bling, it still has that shimmer,
Yes.
which is great. One of the things that I really like about your store is that people come in and with different fingers and rings. You do special kind of moldings if you're doing a custom ring. How does
Absolutely.
that work?
We'll create a design for them that they want to look at. So they let us know what their tastes are and the styles, and so we'll put that together with the CAD, and then we'll grow the wax, and we'll present that to the customer. It doesn't cost them anything.
Oh, that's great.
And if they like it, we'll cast it, and we'll tell them what the price would be. Or if they want changes, we'll make as many changes as they want until we get just what they like.
Oh,
And that's what we
excellent.
do. I mean, it really is very satisfying to be able to make that person feel like you're treated above and beyond, and that's what we do.
That's great. Well, one of the things I noticed here in the studio we've been staring at right here are these little precious babies right here. Tell us a little bit about the special drawing that you're having.
So on December 24th, we're going to be giving away a pair of diamond earrings. That's total 1 carat, and those are natural diamonds, and the value of that is $3,000 retail value. And some lucky person will win that this holiday season. There's no purchase necessary. You just come in, fill out your name and phone number, and we'll draw it, and we're going to give it away.
Wow.
And that's what we want to do.
That sounds
kind of give back. Yeah.
And you know what? I know that you do quite a bit because
Sure.
I have come to you before with different charity affiliations, and you've always been so good about giving back to the community. Truly exceptional. One of the other things too is when you walk into the jewelry store, because it can be overwhelming.
Yes.
You have different designers, people who are known for certain types of looks, like David Yurman and other types of people. Who are some of the designers that you carry within your jewelry store?
We have Roberto Coin in there, which has been very popular. That's a very beautiful designer line from Italy. And then we have Shy Creation, which has won many awards. We also carry Gabrielle and Company. Very nice designs that are very affordable. So, we try to have something for everyone. And I never want to make that person feel like they can't afford something. If you would like it, we'd love to sell it to you. But we don't want to make you feel like, this is something I shouldn't buy or I can't afford. So we've
Right.
got something for everyone who really wants to buy that special gift for that special person.
Do you have certain payment plans or options
We
for
do.
people?
Yeah, we offer 1 year no interest through 2 different banks, and it's very quick and easy, and that way they can spread it out over 12 months with no interest. So we offer that. Yes.
That is absolutely fascinating.
Great way to buy something.
Okay, so a lot of people are when they go in, like I said, they'll walk in and then they're greeted by someone, and then at that point, what knowledge and what background do most of your gemologists have?
Well, our sales associates have been there many years, and they're very experienced in what they do, and they've had their diamond certification. So when they're telling you what the color and clarity is, they know what they're talking about.
Sure.
And all of our diamonds come graded, either GIA, EGL, or IGI, and they're there, and we pull the certificates up and let them see it. But the best way to do, I feel, when you're buying that special diamond, whether it's lab created or natural, is just look at the stone, because it's a matter of opinion. So when you look at it, if it catches your eye and that beauty, it just sparks you, you know that's the right stone for you. And many times we'll pull out 2 or 3 or 4, and they're looking at that and they'll say, I really like the way that looks. And I have to agree with them. So they're all unique.
Well, and speaking of things, when people come in and let's say they get engaged,
Yes.
and the ring isn't exactly the right size. Do you have somebody there who
Yes,
can?
Yes, we size it on premise, and we take care of that for them. And many times, if they need it and it's for that special occasion, we can. If they come in the morning, by that evening, we can do that on special request. We try to get it done that same day if they need it, and it's called for. So yes.
Okay, so
Right
the vault is located, I know, right by CVS
Yes.
in Fig Garden Village
Yes.
on the corner of Palm and Shaw. If people want to look at your website, where would they go? If they want to look at
thevaultjewelers.com, and you'll find it there. Just Google it; it'll pop up, or Google or just,
And they can always call too, because
Yes,
I know that
yes.
you or your lovely wife
Yes,
Elaine will be
yeah.
there, or one of your sales associates, to answer any questions that are needed.
Yeah, we'll guide you through it. The most important thing I can say in concluding today is we want our customers to feel at home, at ease, and just feel like family. And if we can do that, I'd say we've done our job, and we feel good about what we do.
Well, I wish you continued success, because
Thank you.
40 years is nothing to sneeze at. That's actually a really good run, and it's
Yes.
going to continue to go strong, because
We enjoy it.
Yes, and that's what it's all about. You love what you do, and you
Yes.
do what you love, and you make the customers feel at home.
And we love people.
There you do.
We sure do.
All righty. Well,
All right.
this is Hope Roski with Business, Arts, and Events.
Welcome back to Briggs on Books, where we talk to authors about their books, about their process, how they get a book published. Most of us are trying to write and publish a book, and these authors we bring on, they've done it. So we're going to find out how they did it and find out a little bit about their book. By the way, this is a book for young boys. Not only do I have the book here, I have the author. Let's bring in Gene Miller. Welcome, Gene.
Hi, Mike. Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, who's this book for, by the way? Here's the cover. It's for school kids? What ages?
Initially, I wrote the book, Mike, for my oldest 2 grandsons that were going into middle school.
Uh-huh.
But when Kirkus did their review in October, they indicated it should be an adult nonfiction / memoir read. So it's classified as a middle schooler YA book.
Yeah.
But adults are reading it and enjoying it because of the humor and the adventures.
Yeah, I was reading up about it. It does sound like it's very humorous. So, by the way, I read young adult books all the time, and one of the biggest challenges is to get young boys to read a book. So,
Yeah, I had to twist my grandson's arms to get it started, but once they got into it, they've been enjoying it, and they're almost finished.
yeah, sometimes what our teacher would do is they would read us the first chapter of a book in the classroom and say, if you want to know the rest of the book, you got to go get it. So hopefully some teachers are listening and they will do that. Can you tell us about some of the chapters? Each chapter stands on its own. Is that correct?
That's correct, Mike. The way it's designed, it's 15 short stories. That's another benefit for middle school readers because they are short, you know. And each one takes you either on an adventure of a middle schooler through the lens of about an 11-year-old. I kind of start telling the story as an 11-year-old, but I go back to around 3rd grade, and I talk about some instances of bullying that occurred in school, on the school bus, and then adventures along the Delaware River, where we grew up in South Jersey, about 12 miles north of Philly.
That's right. I didn't ask you this when we came on the air. Tell our viewers where you are.
Yeah, we live in Chemung Township, which is right in the middle of the area between Philadelphia and Atlantic City. We're located in the Pine Barrens, which is a giant woods and farm reserve of over 1.5 million acres.
Wow. See, I had no idea that was happening back there. Now, we, out here in California, we go to the beach. What do you call it in Jersey?
We go to the shore.
To the shore, yeah. That's interesting. And is it like ours here? Is it sunny and you play in the water and stuff?
If you're there from like probably Memorial Day until now, late September, it sure is sunny, and everybody's on the beach and has their staked out their claim of their sand and their umbrellas, and everybody's rolling into the water if it's warm.
This book, basic question I ask everybody is, who's this book for? Is it just for boys, or will girls read it too?
I got to tell you, Mike, the title throws you off a bit because it sounds like it is for middle school boys only because it's from a perspective of a middle school kid. I'm an only child, so I didn't have any sisters, big sisters or little sisters. I didn't have any brothers, so I kind of connected with families along the street and the block of Delanco, and a lot of those little sisters kind of became my little sister. Mm-hmm. Especially my best friend Mark Bruno and his little sister Deanna. She was always along for the ride. We tried to get away from her, so she didn't tell on us.
Telling you guys, yeah. So it's for anyone. And like I said, I read young adult books all the time. I enjoy the heck out of them. And it sounds like this one's going to be a lot of fun for anyone.
Well, I tried because I've been in education before I retired a year ago for 44 years. I began teaching at the middle school level, then eventually taught in the high school level, then became a middle school principal. So like 35 of my years is in public schools at that grade level. So I do know middle schoolers, you know.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Eventually, I ended my career the last 9 years at Stockton University in the School of Education, teaching the older kids, and that was a nice change too.
Yeah, I guess so. You are uniquely qualified to write a book that middle schoolers might read.
Yeah. The other part, when I wrote the book, I included I hired an illustrator, and her name was Susan McGettigan, and she did such a fine job of doing color illustrations, one illustration at the end of each chapter to kind of bring everything together. It lends itself to that middle school age, but the adults that have been reading it have finding it to be discovering almost like they go back in a time machine and they go back to that period of time of 1965 to 1970 along the Delaware River in Delanco. And a lot of people that live in that area of Riverside, Delanco, Beverly, Edgewater Park, Burlington City, they're very, very familiar with all these happenings that went along there. The river was dredged to get big ships up the river from Philadelphia to Trenton, and they took all the dredge spoils and ruined our view of the river and piled it right behind our athletic field. And instead of looking out to the river, we could only see dunes that looked like the Sahara Desert behind our house.
That's too bad, yeah. Would you call it a coming-of-age book?
Absolute coming-of-age book, yes.
Very good, very
Finishes at 8th grade graduation with another incident. There's a lot of crazy, wacky incidents. Me and my two close friends on the block, Mark Bruno and Rich Palm, we were involved in a lot of these activities together. But each chapter, characters are introduced that come in and change, other than Big Rich and Mark Bruno. But the characters that come in, they do some crazy things too. One of the chapters, the chapters start off with the first chapter talks about growing up along the river and describing the geographical area, but the second chapter introduces an interesting discovery that I made with the help of Big Rich and Mark Bruno along the Delaware River. And I still have artifacts to this day from the dig on the beach.
Wow.
The second chapter goes into me trying to come of age by being responsible, by getting a summer job at age 10, cutting my grandfather's lawn and working on a farm, and that didn't work out, and then I became a paperboy.
Paperboy. By the way, those artifacts you held up, you're saying that when they dredged that river and dumped the sludge on shore, that's where you found some of that stuff?
I was actually where they dumped the dredge spoils. The river still had a beach, so we had behind my house an athletic field, and then it was tree lined, and there was a swamp there. And the adventures take place from the athletic field to the swamp, then to the dunes where the dredge spoils were, and then onto the riverbank where I was walking, and I discovered something at extra low tide that day in Easter in 1968. It ended up becoming a big deal. Now, I went to Riverside High School, which is the next town south of Delanco, and at Riverside's historical building, at my first book signing in July, they were working on a dig along the Rancocas Creek, which kind of like splits Delanco and Riverside. And in 1858, there was an experimental submarine called the Alligator Junior, a two-man sub. This is the preliminary submarine to the Monitor and the Merrimack in the Civil War. This sub got lost, and instead of going north along the Delaware River, it took this offshoot, Rancocas Creek, so to speak. It looks like a small river, and it started going up the creek, and then it sunk. So the Riverside Historical Society, and there's a big article in the Philadelphia Inquirer around September on Alice Smith and the Riverside Historical Society, discovered the alligator, and there's going to be a dig going on very shortly for that. And now these things that I found from my exploration along the Delaware is being handed over to Peter Fritz of the Delanco Historic Club, and they want to do a similar dig for this item that I discovered that was over 60 feet exposed along the river with my friends.
Now, you said somebody suggested this is more of a memoir. It sounds like all these stories are true. Is that correct?
That is correct. It's a nonfiction. Yes, all true.
Yeah. So anybody who grew up around that area, I bet they delight in reading this book and remembering these things that happened.
I've been very fortunate. This is my first book. It's a lot different. You're writing a memoir style nonfiction than creating a fictional world.
Yep.
But the people that have been reading it from the area have been coming out to greet me in a positive light and being excited to read the stories and to talk about them. And that's the fun part, because the names are real too. So a lot of these people are relatives, cousins, neighbors, friends, classmates. And it's bringing out a lot of unity within the towns connected to the stories.
That's great. Okay, that's a great story, Gene. By the way, I have your web address up there. What would our viewers find there?
You will find a sample writing from the beginning of Chapter 2, so you can see my writing style. Okay. And also, there will be some awards. December 18th, I was notified that the New England Book Festival gave me a first runner-up for young adult literature, and also an honorable mention for a wild card division, which means it's multiple genre, which they recognize just like Kirkus did.
Genre,
so I'm very proud of that. That's posted on the website, and then also some videos connected to the book.
That's great. Yeah, on the website they'll find all that. Yeah, I have to pick new books. I read so many books. I'm always reading something, and when I see a book get some awards, it helps me take a second look at it. If I can see an author talking in an interview like that, it helps me pick the book. And this one just sounds fascinating, Gene. I want to suggest, I'll make a suggestion, is that if you're watching, you got middle schoolers, your kids are going to be going to birthday parties every other week. So don't go and order one of these books. Order 10 copies and send them with your kids to birthday parties and stuff. I think that'd be a great gift. Books are always a great gift. Gene, we've gone way past time. I just love talking to you. Any last thoughts? Anything else you want to share that we missed?
Yeah, there's only one story that doesn't take place around Delanco and the river, and that's when I had to be sent off to summer camp at Camp Occoneck in Medford in the Pines. I now live in the Pines. I didn't know I was going to end up here in my life, but I had some tremendous adventures and tales to tell in that chapter on Occoneck and the tribe has spoken. And a lot of these children, including my grandchildren, in 6th grade, 7th grade, their school takes them overnight to Camp Occoneck. And so this would be a great way to compare your middle school years now of a time passed without computers, Xbox, cell phones, and that kind of thing.
Amazing. Well, I think the best stories are true stories, and it sounds like this is going to be it sounds like it is a great book. I look forward to reading it myself. I can't read all the books of all the authors I talked to, but I'm going to read this one, Gene, for sure. I love this idea and the style, the approach you took to telling your stories. Thank you, Gene. I hope you come back on again.
With it, because it was written for middle schoolers, and I'm an educator, I included a back section of chapter lessons that introduces new vocabulary terms, critical thinking, cross-curricular ideas, and research and writing prompts.
Yeah, so I'm not just going to give this book out to young people. I'm going to give it to teachers, too. I think they would like that. Gene, thank you so much. I hope you'll come back again and again.
Mike, thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor to meet you and to talk with you.
Okay, and for our viewers, don't go anywhere. We'll be back with another author in just a few minutes. And we are out, Gene.